The day the sky went dark, Alex stood alone on his apartment balcony, staring at the stars that were no longer visible. Massive alien ships hung above Earth, their shadows swallowing the night. They were uninvited guests, and no one knew why. They had come, but Alex's mind wasn't only on the alien fleet. He was thinking about someone far away, his best friend Mira. She had moved to another city months ago for a new job. At first, they talked every day, then once a week. Then, nothing. He had been meaning to reach out, but every time he picked up his phone, he hesitated. Now, with alien ships overhead, the world felt different, fragile, and Alex wondered if Myra was looking at the same sky, thinking the same thing. In the days after the arrival, people were glued to their screens. News channels ran endless footage of the silent ships. Experts debated what the visitors wanted, and governments argued over how to respond. Alex tried to focus on work, but the alien presence made everything else seem small and meaningless. His co-workers chatted about first contact and the end of the world, but all Alex could think about was how much he missed Myra's laugh, her way of making problems feel lighter. He opened his messages again. No new texts. He typed, "Hey, been a while. You okay?" He stared at the words for a long moment, then deleted them. One evening, Alex took a walk through the city. The streets were quiet, the usual music from cafes replaced by murmurs about the aliens. He stopped near the river, where people gathered with binoculars, pointing at the shapes in the sky. 2 children were drawing in the sand with sticks. One sketched a crude spaceship. The other drew a smiling stick figure beside it. They talked about how the aliens might be friendly, how they might come down and help people. Alex smiled faintly. Children were fearless in ways adults weren't. The following morning, something strange happened. One of the alien ships projected a giant image into the clouds above the city. An image of humans hunting with spears, running through forests, building fires. People gasped and pointed, phones out, filming the sky. Alex didn't understand it at first, but he felt something stir inside him. The aliens weren't showing cities or technology. They were showing human beginnings. The old strength, the survival that lived in every person. For the first time since Myra had moved away, he felt that old spark of connection. Maybe the aliens saw something worth noticing in humanity, something worth staying for. And maybe that meant people were worth holding on to too. At night, Alex sat by his window, phone in hand. This time, he didn't overthink it. He typed, "Hey, Myra, I know it's been a long time. I've been thinking about you. Things feel strange here with the ships, but I miss you. I hope you're looking at the same sky." He pressed send before. He could change his mind. The next morning, his phone buzzed. It was Myra. "Hey, Alex, I was thinking about you too. Let's talk tonight." Alex stared at the screen, relief flooding through him. The distance between them suddenly felt smaller. Somewhere above, the alien ships remained silent, watchful. And though no one knew why they had come, Alex thought he understood one thing. They had arrived without invitation, and they would never go. The morning sun broke over the city, but the alien ships still hovered silently above. They did not speak. They did not move aggressively, but everyone felt their presence, a quiet weight pressing on the world. Alex walked through the streets, the sky above turning a strange silver as sunlight reflected off the massive halls. Even in this extraordinary moment, his thoughts kept returning to Myra. After their brief phone conversation the night before, Alex had felt hope for the first time in months. But reconnecting was never simple. She had moved for her career, and their lives had drifted apart. How could he bridge that distance without frightening her with his feelings? Alex decided to visit the city's observatory. From the top, he could see the alien ships clearly, massive. almost impossibly tall, and covered with glowing patterns that shifted slowly. No one knew what the patterns meant. Some scientists speculated they were a form of communication, though no one could understand it. Yet as Alex stared, a thought came to him. The ships were observing humans, just as he was trying to observe. His connection with Myra. Maybe, he thought, the aliens were silently reminding people of their own strength. Humanity had survived floods, storms, plagues, and wars. And now, even under the shadow of beings from another world, they were still here. While he pondered this, his phone buzzed. It was Myra again. "Do you want to talk? I can video call tonight." Alex felt a rush of warmth. The distance between them seemed smaller, even with hundreds of miles and months of silence between them. He nodded to himself, deciding that tonight he would open his heart, even if just a little. The day passed slowly. News channels broadcast images of people across the globe pointing at the ships, capturing strange lights and holographic projections that sometimes appeared in the clouds. Scientists argued about whether the aliens were studying the planet or sending a message. But for Alex, the ships above were a mirror. They reminded him that he, too, could face fear, uncertainty, and distance, and still take action. Humanity had survived impossible odds before, and maybe this personal challenge with Mira was just another kind of survival. That evening, Alex prepared for the video call. He cleaned his apartment, tidied his desk, and even sat by the window, where the alien ships glowed faintly in the twilight. When Myra's face appeared on the screen, Alex felt a pang of longing mixed with joy. She smiled, just as she always had, and for a moment, the months apart seemed to vanish. They talked about small things at first: the weather, work, mutual friends. Slowly, the conversation moved to heavier topics. Alex admitted he had felt lonely without her. Mira confessed that she missed their old routines and the comfort of their friendship. "I didn't know how to reach out," she said. "I thought maybe you had moved on." "I didn't want to bother you," Alex replied. "But seeing the ships, I realized that waiting only makes distance bigger. Sometimes you have to act." As the night deepened, Alex glanced out the window. The ships remained, silent and immense, as if watching the humans below. He felt a strange connection to them, beings from another world, observing life with curiosity, noticing human resilience. He realized that their silent presence mirrored his own struggle. He had been watching Mira from afar, afraid to move, while she had been doing the same. "We should visit each other," Alex suggested, tentative but hopeful, even just for a weekend. To reconnect, Myra's eyes lit up. "I'd like that. Let's plan it." The call ended, and Alex sat back, feeling a mix of exhaustion and relief. The loneliness he had carried for months began to lift, replaced by a quiet determination. Humanity, he thought, had always faced challenges, from nature, from itself, and now from the unknown. And yet, like the humans in the holograms projected by the aliens, he could adapt, reach out, and survive emotionally. The next morning, Alex walked outside again. People around him were still pointing at the sky, taking photos, wondering what the aliens were thinking. But Alex felt different. The ships were still uninvited, still silent, still watching, yet their presence had inspired him to act, to rebuild the connection with someone he cared for deeply. He sent Myra a short message. "I'm making plans. Can't wait to see you." Minutes later, her reply appeared. "Me too. I've missed you, Alex." For the first time in months, he felt the distance shrink. No matter the miles, no matter the silence, hope remained. Hope that humans could endure anything, even separation and uncertainty, and still find their way back to each other. Above, the alien ships lingered. Humanity did not understand them. But one thing was clear: life went on. Humans survived, humans adapted, Humans reached out. And just as humanity would not give up, Alex would not give up on the bond he cherished most. The silent watchers above, uninvited and mysterious, remained in orbit, and yet their presence had quietly taught a lesson. Sometimes distance can be bridged with courage, persistence, and hope. And for Alex, that lesson meant reconnecting with Mara was not impossible. It was inevitable. They were still apart, but slowly, step by step, they were finding their way back to each other. And in that quiet determination, Alex understood a small truth about humanity. The alien ships above Earth were no longer just mysterious shadows in the sky. They were reminders of how fragile yet resilient humanity could be. Alex woke up early, sunlight spilling into his apartment, and felt an urge he hadn't felt in months. It was time to act, to take the first real step toward reconnecting with Myra. He had spent weeks hesitating, unsure how to bridge the distance between them. But now, with the world under the watchful eyes of visitors from another world, he realized that waiting solved nothing. Humans had always acted in the face of uncertainty. Explorers, inventors, and pioneers who reached for what seemed impossible. Alex began by planning a trip to Myra's city. It wasn't easy. Tickets were expensive, and his work schedule was tight, but he reminded himself of something he had learned from the alien presence. Humans survived because they acted, even when the outcome was unknown. As he booked the chi, train, and prepared his luggage, he thought about their previous conversations. He remembered Myra's laugh, the way she noticed little things that others overlooked, and the quiet support she had always given him. For months, those memories had stayed locked inside him, as if the distance between them had built an invisible wall. But today, he felt the first cracks forming. The train ride was long, but Alex used the time to write a letter he would give Myra in person. In simple words, he described how much he had missed her, how the months apart had made him realize what mattered most, and how he hoped they could start rebuilding their connection. He watched the cities and fields pass by outside the window. Everything seemed ordinary, yet he couldn't stop glancing at the sky. Even hundreds of kilometers from his home, the alien ships could still be seen, hovering silently. It was a strange comfort, a reminder that humans were resilient, adaptable, and never truly alone, even in the face of unknown forces. When he finally arrived in Myra's city, nerves rushed through him. He felt like a young explorer stepping into uncharted territory. What if she didn't want to see him? What if months of silence had changed everything? He walked to her apartment, holding the envelope tightly. His heart pounded as he pressed the doorbell. When Myra opened the door, her eyes widened in surprise, then softened into a warm, familiar smile. "Alex, you came," she whispered. "I had to," he replied. "I realized that waiting doesn't bring people back together. You can't just hope. You have to act." They sat together on the small balcony of her apartment. The city hummed below them, but Alex felt as if they were the only two people in the world. He handed her the envelope, and she opened it slowly, reading each word carefully. Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't know you felt all this," she said softly. "I missed you too, Alex, more than I realized." Alex smiled. "Then we're both here. Now, that's what matters. Distance is just distance. We can overcome it." For the first time in months, they talked without hesitation. They shared stories of the time apart, laughed at small frustrations, and made plans for the future. It was not perfect. The distance hadn't disappeared entirely, and they both knew life would continue to throw challenges their way. But there was hope, the kind that humans carry quietly inside, even in moments of fear. Above the city, the alien ships remained. Their silent presence no longer felt threatening. Instead, Alex imagined them as observers of human courage, much like he and Mira were learning to be courageous in their own small way. The next day, Alex and Mira explored the city together. They walked through parks, past markets, and along rivers. Everywhere they went, people paused to look up at the sky, pointing at the alien ships. Alex realized that humanity had always faced challenges, from natural disasters to conflict, and yet people adapted, learned, and survived. Just like humanity had endured for millennia, Alex thought people could endure personal distance and reconnect if they were brave enough to take the first step. That evening, as the sun set, Alex and Mira returned to her apartment. He felt lighter than he had in months. The fear of rejection and the sadness of separation had been replaced by something stronger: hope, action, and the quiet strength humans carry even when the world seems uncertain. "I'm glad you came," Myra said. "I don't want to let months go by again without talking." "Neither do I," Alex replied. "We'll face the distance together, step by step." The alien ships glowed faintly above them. Silent, massive, and unyielding, they remained in orbit. No one knew why they had come or what they wanted, but Alex didn't need to understand them fully to learn from them. Their presence reminded him that humans could act in uncertainty, adapt to challenges, and create hope where none seemed possible. As night fell, Alex and Mira stood on the balcony, looking up at the stars partially hidden by alien hulls. He realized that distance was no match for human determination, and that connection, once acted upon, could grow stronger than before. The uninvited watchers above were still there, observing silently. And just like humanity would not give up, in the face of the unknown, Alex knew he would not give up on Mira. They were still learning, still rebuilding, still reaching out. And in that persistence, Alex felt a profound truth. Humans endure, humans act, humans hope, even when the universe seems too vast to understand. Above, the ships hung in silence, and Alex understood one thing clearly. They had come once, and they would never go. The morning light spilled through Myra's apartment windows, and the alien ships still loomed silently above the city. Their massive forms reflected sunlight in strange, shifting patterns, but they made no sound and offered no explanation. People moved cautiously below, caught between curiosity, fear, and wonder. Alex sat beside Mira at the kitchen table, sipping coffee. The city outside buzzed with the quiet tension of normal life amid extraordinary circumstances. He had stayed the night, and for the first time in months, he felt a deep sense of peace, a hope he hadn't known he could carry alone. Alex thought about the distance that had separated him and Mira. Even with the alien ships above, he realized the most important challenge he faced wasn't the unknown hovering in the sky. It was bridging the space between him and someone he cared about deeply. "I'm glad you're here," Myra said softly, noticing his thoughtful gaze. "Me too," Alex replied. "Being here with you, it makes everything feel less impossible, even the aliens." Mira smiled, brushing a lock of hair behind her ear. "It's strange, isn't it? How the world can feel so small and so huge at the same time." "Exactly," Alex said. "And yet we can still reach out to each other. That's what matters." Later that day, the city's observatory announced a rare event. One of the alien ships would project images into the clouds above. Crowds gathered, anticipation heavy in the air. Alex and Mira joined the group, finding a spot on a hill where they could see clearly. As the sun dipped low, the ship's projection began. At first, it was simple, patterns of light, geometric and precise. But then the images shifted to scenes of human history. People running across plains, building fires, crafting tools, sailing across oceans. Humanity's earliest moments of survival and exploration were displayed with meticulous care. Alex felt his chest tighten. The aliens weren't showing technology or weapons. They were showing human courage, resilience, and ingenuity. It was as if they were saying, "We see you. We know what you can do." Myra reached for Alex's hand. "Look at that," she whispered. "They're showing us. "I think they're reminding us," Alex said softly, "that humans have always found a way. Even when things seem impossible, we adapt, we survive, we act." For a long moment, they watched in silence, hand in hand. The distant feeling that had hovered between them for months began to fade, replaced by shared awe and hope. If humanity could endure the unknown above them, surely they could endure distance, mistakes, and miscommunication between each other. That night, they returned to Myra's apartment. Alex pulled out the envelope he had written weeks ago, but hadn't yet shared. "I thought about giving this to you last night," he said, "but seeing the projection today, I realized I want you to know everything, not just in words, but in action." He handed her the envelope. Mira opened it carefully, reading each sentence aloud. She smiled through tears, and for the first time, Alex saw a light in her eyes that mirrored his own. "I didn't know you felt all this," she said softly. "I thought the distance meant things were different. But you acted. That's what matters." "We both acted," Alex said. "I reached out. You responded. That's humanity, isn't it? Acting, hoping, surviving together." The following days were filled with small steps, shared meals, long walks, and quiet conversations that rebuilt trust and connection. The alien ships remained, massive and silent, but now they seemed less like threats and more like reminders. Observing, waiting, studying humanity, and in doing so, inspiring people to act, to care, and to reach out, Alex realized that the ships above mirrored his own struggle with Myra. They had waited, silently observing, while he had hesitated, unsure how to bridge the gap. But just as humans survived under the watchful eyes of the unknown, he could survive the emotional distance if he acted with courage and hope. One evening, as they sat together on Myra's balcony, Alex noticed a pattern in the alien ships. "Lights," he pointed it out. "Look at that," he said. "It's almost like they're communicating in their own way." Mira leaned closer. "Maybe they're learning from us too. Watching how humans act, how we face." The alien ships above Earth remained silent and immense, their massive shadows stretching across cities, oceans, and forests. For weeks, humanity had watched, wondered, and slowly adapted to their presence. But one morning, everything changed. Sudden cosmic storm, unlike anything Earth had experienced, struck the planet. Solar winds and electrical disturbances affected satellites, power grids, and communication networks. Cities flickered with blackouts, planes were grounded, and the world seemed closer to chaos than ever before. Alex watched the news in horror. If only Myra were safe, he thought, but she was. They had spent the night together, planning to explore the city more. That bond, fragile and renewed, was now being tested by forces beyond their control. Alex quickly called Mira. "The storm is getting worse. Are you okay?" "I'm fine," she replied, her voice steady but tense. Are you safe?" "Yes, but listen, we need to help. The satellites, the power grids. If humanity doesn't act, a lot of people will suffer." "Then let's act," Mira said, determination in her voice. "Together, even amidst the fear," Alex felt hope. Humans had survived impossible events before. Wars, plagues, natural disasters. They adapted, learned, and worked together. And now they were doing the same, guided not by orders, but by courage and cooperation. The city's authorities called for volunteers to help stabilize critical systems. Alex and Mira joined a team working to repair damaged satellite uplinks. Engineers and scientists coordinated with firefighters, volunteers, and even military personnel. Everyone moved with a shared purpose. As Alex and Mira worked side by side, he noticed something remarkable. The alien ships above began shifting subtly, moving closer to the affected areas. They didn't intervene directly, but their presence seemed to respond to humanity's actions, as if silently acknowledging the resilience and determination below. "Look at them," Alex said, pointing to the sky. "They're watching, and maybe learning." Myra nodded. "It's strange. I feel like they respect what humans are doing, not with words, but with presence." "Humans endure," Alex said softly. "Even in uncertainty, we act. That's our strength." Hours passed. The storm's intensity increased, but humanity's coordinated effort began to stabilize key systems. Alex and Myra, despite exhaustion, continued their work. Every repaired satellite, every restored communication line, felt like a small victory against chaos. During a brief pause, Alex sent a message to Myra. "I'm proud of us. Proud of humanity, and proud of you." Myra smiled, wiping sweat from her brow. "Same here. This is scary, but it reminds me of why we can't give up on the world or on each other." As night fell, the storm began to subside. The alien ships hovered, massive and silent, as if observing the results of humanity's actions. News reports came in. Cities were safe, major power grids restored, and communication networks were gradually returning to normal. Alex and Mira finally sat together, exhausted but relieved. The world was still fragile, still unpredictable, but they had survived. Together, they had faced fear and uncertainty and acted. And in that shared experience, their bond grew stronger. "We did it," Mira said, leaning against Alex. "I didn't know if we could, but we did." "We always do," Alex replied. "Humans endure. Humans adapt. Humans hope." For the first time, Alex truly saw the HFY humanity, as the aliens might perceive it, was remarkable not just for its technology or intellect, but for its courage, resilience, and ability to act in the face of uncertainty. The same qualities applied to his personal life. Distance, fear, and uncertainty had tested his connection with Mira, but through courage and persistence, they had acted, survived, and grown closer. "I'm glad I didn't wait," Alex said. "Months of silence would have been easier, but not worth it." Myra smiled. "I'm glad you came. I'm glad we acted together. That's what matters." The alien ships remained above, massive and unyielding, silent watchers of Earth's resilience. They had not intervened directly in the storm, but they had observed humanity's response, the courage, cooperation, and adaptation that allowed survival. For Alex and Myra, the ships symbolized a reminder. Even in the face of unknown forces, hope and action could overcome fear and distance. Alex reached for Myra's hand. "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." "Together," she echoed. As the stars returned to the sky, peeking between the massive alien hulls. Alex felt the truth of HFY in his heart. Humans endure. Humans act. Humans hope. And no challenge, cosmic or personal, could break that. The storm had tested humanity, but it had also strengthened it. The alien ships hovered, silent yet ever present, watching the survivors below. And as Alex looked at Myra, he understood something deeper. Just as humanity had endured cosmic challenges, their personal challenges, distance, time, silence, could be overcome too, if they acted with courage and hope. Above all, Alex knew one certainty: the aliens had come once, uninvited, and they would never go. The alien ships remained in orbit, enormous and silent, yet their presence no longer frightened humanity. Instead, people began to see them as observers, witnesses to the resilience, courage, and creativity of the human race. For Alex and Myra, The ships were a reminder that even in the most uncertain times, action and hope mattered more than fear. The morning was calm. Alex and Mira walked through the city streets, now slowly returning to normal after the storm. People moved with cautious optimism, repairing what had been damaged, helping one another. Humanity had survived another challenge. Together, Alex thought about the months he and Mira had spent apart. Distance had made their connection fragile, but it had not destroyed it. He realized that just as humanity had endured the storm and the alien presence, he could endure emotional distance if he acted with courage, honesty, and hope. "Do you ever wonder what the aliens are thinking?" Mira asked, glancing at the sky. "I think they're learning from us," Alex replied. "Watching how humans face fear, how we adapt, how we care for each other. They don't speak our language, but I think they understand what makes us human." Myra smiled. "Maybe they see that. In us, they can learn something worth keeping. That's kind of comforting, isn't it?" "It is," Alex said. "And it makes me want to act the best I can, not just for them, but for us and everyone else." Days passed, and humanity continued to rebuild. The alien ships shifted subtly in orbit, aligning themselves with key human efforts, rescue missions, rebuilding projects, and scientific research. They did not intervene directly, but their presence seemed to encourage human innovation and cooperation. Alex and Mira volunteered to assist with the project, restoring power to remote communities affected by the storm. As they worked, Alex thought about how similar this was to his relationship with Myra. Months of silence had been a storm of their own, creating distance and uncertainty. But step by step, action by action, they were reconnecting, rebuilding. Trust, sharing experiences, and learning to rely on each other again. One evening, as they rested after a long day, a sudden phenomenon occurred. One of the alien ships projected a vast hologram over the city, an intricate display of humans working together, rescuing people, sharing food, rebuilding homes, and supporting one another. The projection was breathtaking, showing humans at their most resilient and compassionate moments. Alex grabbed Myra's hand. "Look at that," he whispered. "They're showing us. Humanity at its best." Myra's eyes glistened. "It's beautiful. And it reminds me that we can do the same, in big ways and small ways, in our lives too." Alex nodded. "Exactly. Even in personal challenges, we can act with courage. We can reconnect, repair, and grow stronger together." That night, they sat on the balcony, hands entwined, watching the glowing projections fade into the sky. Alex felt a surge of gratitude for the aliens' silent influence. Their presence had reminded him that hope required action, that distance could be overcome if humans persevered, and that connection was worth fighting for. "I'm glad we didn't wait any longer," Alex said softly. "Months of silence could have been permanent, but we acted, and here we are." Myra smiled. "Yes, acting makes all the difference. Distance may test us, but it can't break what matters." The next day, Alex and Mira joined a global project coordinating human and alien observations of environmental changes caused by the storm. Scientists worked alongside engineers, volunteers, and even some brave civilians to gather data and restore systems. Alex felt proud of humanity, proud of Mira, and proud of himself for taking the steps necessary to reconnect. "It's amazing," Myra said, looking at a massive screen displaying maps, satellites, and alien ship positions. "Even after everything, people still act, still hope." "That's HFY," Alex replied quietly. "Humans endure, humans adapt, humans help. And when we care about each other, we act personally too." During a break, Alex and Mira found a quiet rooftop to rest. The alien ships shimmered above, massive and silent, like guardians observing a world They could not fully enter, but could learn from. Alex felt a deep sense of connection to Mira, to humanity, and to the mysterious visitors above. "Do you think they understand emotions?" Myra asked. "Maybe not fully," Alex replied, "but I think they can see actions, and actions show care, courage, and hope. That's something humans do better than anything else." Mira leaned her head on his shoulder. "Then we're teaching them what matters most. And we're learning it ourselves," Alex added. That evening, Alex sent Myra up